Thank you, David. You wouldn't know it, but one of the great pleasures of my life is over the last 10 years actually has been working close to you. So thank you for the complimentary words. And thank you everyone for letting me come up here today. It's a pleasure. It's been a great association with Hall Chadwick and Hall Chadwick Associates for a long time now, and I learn a lot from the leaders of Hall Chadwick, Drew, and all the other partners, David. So it's been a great journey, and it's great to see everyone here today, and to basically just give you a quick overview of Grove Finance and where we are, and nothing too taxing. Grove Finance is a specialised SME finance lender. Started about 6 years ago. We're a non-listed public company. Our board includes John Murphy, Julie Elliott, and Eddie Wong. We're over about 55 employees. We've been going for about 5 years. Last year we won the fastest growing company in Australia on the AFR, and just recently we've been voted in the finals of the FinTech Lender of the Year as we evolve. We've got a strong leadership team. I think probably pertinent at this point in time to say the breadth of products that we have, which we'll go into a couple of other slides moving forward. But we do asset finance, insurance premium funding, trade finance, invoice finance, business loans and floor plan finance. We're the actually only non-bank lender in Australia to have that breadth of products. I think only BOQ actually is not even BOQ actually has that breadth of products since they've moved off on their invoice financing platform. We've got an excellent leadership team of people very experienced in their fields, ex-bankers, ex-industry professionals across the breadth of the important parts of the business. The group history, as I said, it's about 6-7 years now, and as you can see the growth there of the dollar values that we've lent year to year. That's not an accumulating amount, it's just basically how many we've done in that year. So in 2018 we lent 91 million, 21, 37, 22 we lent 480 million. There were some significant events in that growth. We bought Eclipse Commercial in 2019, which was a $121 million transaction, which really jettisoned the growth business put us on the map and got us into warehouse funding as well, which was the key part of that transaction. At that point in time, my business partner David Verschaw and I sat reflecting after another long day and decided that the only way this business could grow is to scale it is actually if we move closer to the prime market, rather than making higher margins but less growth. So we chose to have a scaled business. So we took on Eclipse because the book was prime, and that really embedded the concept of Grow being a near prime lender across a breadth of products. We've added over the years, the last couple of years, we've added some warehouse facilities through international institutions, local Australian banks, and well supported by super funds and other mezzanine lenders in those warehouses. As I mentioned before, product matrix, it's basically all the products that we do. Key here is really the rates. Look, asset finance is 7.79 now as a starting point. 6 months ago that was 4.95. The rate movements over the last 6 months, I don't have to explain to you guys, but it's almost double the go-to-market prices. But what's really important here is that we're never going to compete with a bank because we get our money from a bank, but as a non-bank, we're really at the pointy end of pricing. The clients that we look for are bank quality effectively, and we want to reflect. That's what we reflect in our pricing. Is basically to give those higher quality clients who are not getting serviced by the bank, to give them the products that they need in a more efficient time. Yes, it costs a little bit more, but the turnaround times and the service levels, we hope, much better and compensates for that little bit of a premium. As you can see, insurance premium funding, well, there's only about 6 or 7 suppliers in IPF in Australia. We're one of them, and we're developing with a new warehouse coming online in the next couple of months. Look, the rates in IPF are insurance premium funding are the rates. It's either you're in the market or you're not in the market. So it doesn't matter who you really go to get that supply. Generally, your price is the same. So it's more about delivery and availability. I think an important part of Grow as well is that we're trying to be a primary banker to our customers across the breadth of products. We've got about close to 8,000 clients now. Most of them have only got one product. Some have got 6 products. I mean, I think there's two clients now with a whole breadth of products. Our aim is to be the primary banker to that SME client. Now, to clients would need up to about $5 million, and to spread across the range of the products that we have. Just a couple of examples of facilities written. The first one is an enterprise facility, which the client used trade finance, invoice finance, and asset finance. There was an interchangeable limit through those asset classes. So if they needed $4 million of trade, then they could take up to $4 million of trade, and likewise, if they needed a lot more of asset rather than trade, then they can actually manipulate the global limit of 4.5 to suit their business. And that was a wine manufacturer and distributor. And like I mentioned, we are the primary lender for that client, and that's really our sweet spot. Next is something that we actually really excel in the market, is actually importing capital equipment. The reason we excel in that is because for some reason banks don't want to they might provide the lease when the asset gets here, but they're reticent to actually provide the import finance. So Grow is very good at providing that import finance and having it taken out by a lease when it gets here. It doesn't have to be a Grow lease. It can be for any reputable financier, predominantly the banks or higher second tiers, as long as that approval for that to lease that product is in place on arrival, prior to us purchasing the asset for them to get them into the country. We'll import those goods for whichever lender is going to be doing the takeout at the other end. And a simple invoice finance example is our transport company, which relies on their receivables, quick turnover. A line haul business is a typical invoice finance client. As I said, we've worked a lot on our tech platform. What's very important for us is actually delivery to our clients and to our introducers. It's one thing saying and doing things, but at the end of the day, your customer's the one that's right, and they're the one that need the experience, the good experience, to make sure they come back and make sure the goodwill in the market and the tell mates, etc. All that's unwritten. It's unwritten goodwill, which you never know. A bad deal goes a long way, and a good deal goes a long way as well. With our platform, we've invested a lot, so that introducers can write the deal themselves if they want to via the platform, if they don't want to just submit it to our staff. But for clients, it's actually even more dynamic in the sense of we are constantly, because we have access to their bank statements, because we do online bank statements scrapes, we're constantly aware of what the business is up to, and the online platform updates to the client to let them know what other products they can have from Grow. So the client can just jump online, simply like a banking facility, see where their accounts are up to, what's left, what's been paid, where the goods are, etc. But also have opportunities if they, to know that they can just simply go apply for a trade or an invoice facility if they're an asset client by clicking a button, rather than going through a elongated, tough process again to start again at the beginning. That doesn't exclude our brokers getting or introducers getting any return on that. It just means that our introducers have to do less work. They still get the commissions. Competitive positioning, as I mentioned, there was a conscious decision by Grow to enter into that near-bank market, where the non-bank space, as you can see, is we've got just at the front part of the non-bank space and more of the bank type of client. So our core market is competing against banks in some assets and or thereabouts for primary lending. And some simple comparisons there. It's just speed to answer, rational credit terms, info required. Red tape is where non-banks and Grow excel, and compared to other non-banks, we've got the diversity of products, the addressable market size, and not so much the lowest rate, but just the speed to answer. Strategic alignment. Grow's aiming for this part of the market, Tier 2. We really are doing our best to keep pushing. We've made a landmark in the sense that, our rates are coming down, but we really want to be viewed in a couple of years' time across here somewhere. So that's one, it's our ambition, but secondly, it's also important for you guys to understand that where we're trying to be, where we're trying to place ourselves, and where we really want to be viewed by our customers as well. It's obviously a difficult road to get to that point, but the more success that we've had over the last couple of years, the more people who are coming knocking on the door, institutional credit funds, etc. So the warehouses that we have available are always increasing, and the cost of those funds are always decreasing. So it's a glorious goal, but it is where we're working towards too. And importantly, we're here for the duration as well. So all our regulatory compliance, all in line with ASIC, AUSTRAC, every single AFCA complaints. We're registered with AFCA as a significant company. There's nothing that we don't miss. We've got our credit licenses. We don't need an AFSL, but we do have one regardless. So we really stick in the guidelines and make sure that we don't have any poor feedback where we can avoid it. And that was a quick rundown of Grow Finance, and I'll leave it to you guys if you've got any questions.
Do you have a presence in Western Australia yet?
Yeah, we do. We got a lady over there who's really hit her straps very well and got nominated as BDM of the Year over there recently by some of the funders. Are you WA based? Yeah. Okay. I'll make sure that she gets in touch with you. Yeah. Very good. Roast me again?
Can you just recently, I've noticed down at Grow, you've been putting some quite big deals together with BOQ. Is there anything about BOQ you could, especially to the Queensland boys, explain what's going on there?
Look, BOQ is actually a long association. Even when I had my last business, 180 Group, when it was an invoice financier, we worked very closely with BOQ. We used to share Intel. BOQ used to come into 180's office and have a look at our systems. And so the association with BOQ has been very close for a very long time. Even when they started Grow, they were one of the first people on the table to try and fund. So there's always been a relationship there. So what specifically to what's happening now with BOQ, it's more in line for these larger transactions. As much as we'd like to stay in the $5 million space, but it doesn't mean we can't do a $20 million transaction. We'll syndicate with say BOQ to do we'll take up the first 5 and they'll take up the next 15. So as long as the business makes sense to us, we've got a good association with BOQ who really know our space and have been around us for a long time. And so the bigger transactions, we can write it, deliver to them, they have a look, and they'll pick up the slack from $5 million and above. I mean, it doesn't stop us going higher than 5, but we just like to keep it there. Does that answer your question, David?
Any other questions? Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.